It's August 23, August 23rd, sorry, 2023. It is 9 a.m. This is the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, Water Quality Management Committee. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Andy Gunning here, and I've met most of you, but not all of you. It's been a little while since I've attended a water quality meeting, but wanted to thank you for your service, and especially the past month or two, dealing with a little more challenging case than normally with the Broadmoor site application. Kind of took on a life of its own. So I appreciate you guys doing, I think, 2 thorough reviews of that. And the SARC did its thing as well. It's worked its way through our CAC process, and our board adopted it, approved it, a couple of weeks ago now, earlier in September. And I know a few of you attended. Jonathan, I think you were online, and Mark, and I think Roy may have tuned in for a little bit as well. So really appreciate that. We had a really fulsome conversation at the board level, and it was good. It really kind of gave it the, coverage and asked the questions that really they felt needed to be asked from the board's perspective. You guys did a great job at the technical review. Our CAC got into the weeds on a few things, and sometimes they'll drift out of their lane a little bit, and that's okay. They're going to view it from a community member standpoint, but when it got sorted out by the board, it was a good conversation, and I think everybody felt like it was a little bit of a win-win-win. The neighbors that were concerned about trucks rolling up and down the roadways up there, they got a chance to be heard. The board felt like they vetted it thoroughly and got a chance to ask all the questions that they had. Technically, it met all the requirements, so we were pleased about that. And then Broadmoor got their approval at the end of the day. And in addition to that, with the 2 conditions that our board approved, one was around the circulation, making sure that the trucks don't just go up and down Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard, but maybe use Mesa as well. That was one of the conditions to look into, and the other one was to make sure that if in the event there is a spill, if a truck tips over or whatever, that we've got a good plan, good understanding of what the response is going to look like. So those were the 2 conditions that the board attached to it, and by the end of the day, that same day, we heard back from Commissioner Stan Vanderwerf with El Paso County. He reached out to the owner of the Broadmoor, Jack, and he agreed to those 2 conditions. So end of the day, it all worked out really well. So I wanted to pass that along. I know Ann's been keeping you up to speed on what's been happening each step of the way, but yeah, so I appreciate that. I think that's a one-off. That it's rare that that's going to happen. 99% of the cases end up on consent agendas with our board and no questions asked almost. But I think it gave everybody within our organization and our orbit with our board just good comfort in how the process operates. We got some things we're going to work on with our CAC at some point, just so they understand roles and responsibilities and stuff like that. But I just wanted to pass along my appreciation when your guys work on that.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, no problem at all. It's great to have the neighbors show up at our meeting and express their concerns, and that's why we have these meetings.
Yeah, for sure. The process worked. So yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yep. I forgot to do introductions really quick, and I'll start with you guys in the room. You guys do introductions, and we'll go online, and we'll try to do it alphabetical by first name, and you can just introduce yourself if you're online. So go ahead, Ann.
Oh, you mean in person?
Yeah.
In person. Ann Werner, military and environmental planner here at PPACG.
Brandon Bernard, Security, Water, and Sanitation District.
Andy Gunning, PPACG, and Jared.
And in the corner, Jared Verner, PPACG.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, I can't see. All right, if you're online, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Annie Berleman, Colorado Springs Utilities.
Hi, I'm Connie King, environmental attorney representing Upper Monument, Lower Fountain Security.
Jim Ekman, Fountain Sanitation and Lower Fountain Metro.
JD Shivers with Woodman Hills Metro District.
Nice. I'm Jonathan Moore with Fountain Sanitation District and Lower Fountain.
Mark Parker with Monument Sanitation, co-chair.
Brian
Roy
Jesse,
Eads,
I'm
Woodman
here
Hills.
Brian Jesse, I'm here to present on the site application agenda part. So,
All right, I think we got everybody in.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right. Number one on the agenda, public comments. Is there any other public comments that we might have? Hearing
Mr. Chair,
none.
yep.
Oh, yes, please.
I was gonna confirm that we have not received any advance request and, no one else is, everyone's like committee member or presenter, so we're good to move forward.
Thank you. Okay, item number 2, site application, CSU Las Vegas wastewater treatment plant upgrade site application. Brian Jesse, the floor is yours.
thanks, everyone. Wanted to come in. I think we've presented this once to a smaller group. So what we are here to talk about is some upgrades at the Colorado Springs Utilities wastewater facility there at the Las Vegas Street facility. We're doing a project for them, and as part of the CDPHE permitting, we are seeking approval and kind of the agreement that this project can continue from the PPACG. So I am the engineer on the project from Black and Veatch. We're doing the engineering on it, and I'm just going to kind of talk about the project and then answer any questions. So I'm going to share my screen. I believe I can do that. Great. Okay, it says I am working. So for those that aren't familiar with it or with the location, we've got a location map here kind of showing Colorado Springs, just kind of southwest of the downtown area, right along I-25 here is the Las Vegas Street facility. And within that facility, they have 5 aeration basins, which is really the focus of our work. So if I scroll here to a site plan, we have these 5 aeration basins, and the purpose of those is for the process treatment for the wastewater. It's the aeration step and the secondary treatment. And currently, they have 9-inch disc diffusers in those basins to provide air. They have reached the end of their useful life. They're old, they are breaking, they become a maintenance issue. So this project is really based on replacement and upgrades to that system. There's no new facilities. This is all within these existing basins. It's all basically equipment replacement is really the best way to look at it. The reason that CDPHE has asked us to go through this step is because we are changing the technology and we are adding, let's say, a little bit more than a one-to-one swap. So it's not an exact pull something out and put it back in. However, we could argue that's a little nuanced, but I have some photos that I was going to show because I found that photos were a little bit better. The existing basins look like this right now. So there are some different zones. These are these 9-inch disc diffusers down in the bottom of a basin that's drained. Air is provided through these stainless steel pipes that are up along the surface. So air is delivered down to these, they bubble up. And we are changing to a tube diffuser style, which really looks like this. Some of the better images. So it's a slightly different configuration, but it still performs the same way. So we're going from a disc diffuser to a tube diffuser. And part of what we're also doing, the reason that the CDPHE asked for this is we are currently they operate in zones right now. The new zones that we have will actually be independently controlled. So it's kind of hard to explain. We're getting down to the weeds, but basically all of zone 5, including A, B, C, are all controlled by a single valve. Our new system will actually add new piping up along the basin here, where each zone, 5A, B, and C, will have its own aeration drop and its own aeration control valve. The purpose of that is, along with these new tube diffusers that are a little bit more efficient, it will actually give CSU better fine control of their aeration, so they can run each of these zones independently, and they can actually dial in the air they add to be a little bit more exact, still promote the treatment, meet the same effluent limits, but maybe not waste as much air. So the goal is really energy efficiency over the long term. So, like I said, it's really equipment replacement. Everything down in that photo here would be removed. We would put the new equipment down. We would do the piping modifications up here to add those new control valves. One more minor scope is in one of the zones there are mixers. One of their mixers is actually too powerful in zone 4, and it actually breaks the diffusers. So we're swapping out that mixer for a different style of mixer that has a little less horsepower. Will still provide mixing, but will not damage the diffusers long term. The key points really to this group are that there's actually no requested increase in treatment capacity, no requested modification to effluent limits, no real change. We actually considered an in-kind replacement, but the state wanted us to still go through the steps and discuss this with everyone. Again, it's really because the old diffusers are at the end of their useful life, and by upgrading diffusers, they're taking the opportunity to make some efficiency improvements as well. So that's the story. It's pretty short, but I'll pause for questions, and happy to take anyone through more drawings or more pictures or whatever might be helpful.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions for CSU? Hearing none. Jared, did you get any online? Anybody type in anything?
We did not.
Okay. All right, Brian, it looks like it's just too easy, huh?
Like easy. I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Do we have a motion for this project?
Jonathan, on motion to move CSU's Las Vegas aeration project to PPACG for approval.
Mark, second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Well, thank you all for taking your time to listen. And
One thing I will say is, in a year from now, I want you to come back and tell us all, send us a note of how that's working. Because we're running those disc fusers right now, but I want to see how those tubes work.
So this will be my first personal job with tubes, but our process experts, and we've been installing them around the country a lot, with Black and Beach, and we have heard that everyone's very happy with them. So definitely for life cycle cost analysis. So we'll see here locally. I know there's a few smaller installations, but yeah, definitely please reach out, or Andy or Brendan over there will be tracking it themselves as well.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and log off if you don't need anything else from me.
No, please.
Jonathan, can I jump in real quick before Brian leaves?
Yes.
Sorry to jump in, Mr. Chair, but just to catch up, there are 2 more steps. So step 1 after today is you have to take this same presentation, a nice short one like you did today, before our CAC, our Citizens Advisory Committee, and that'll be at 3 p.m. a week from today on the 30th. After
Yes,
that,
I have that on my calendar. So.
okay, I don't have the meeting invitation with the link yet. As soon as I have that, I will forward it to you. And then the other step after that will be to, again, be present. We're expecting, unless something happens with the CAC, like just unforeseen questions or concerns, If the CAC approves it to go forward, then you'll go to the board on consent, and that would be September 12th, 13th, I'm sorry. And that's a 9 o'clock appointment or a 9 o'clock meeting time. Consent items are towards the beginning of the meeting, and it generally goes pretty quick. You would only need to be available should questions come up if you're only on consent. So we'll hope everything goes like that. Once that board meeting's done, our executive director will sign your site application for PPACG as a 208 planning agency. And I will get that to you, and you'll be complete with our end of the process. So just reach out to me. I know it's kind of a bundled bunch of information, but just reach out to me if you have a question on any of those steps.
I will, and yeah, I appreciate you breaking it down and letting me know. So I have both of those on my calendar, and it'll either be me or one of our other team members who actually lives a bit closer. So I was supposed to be down there today, but something came up. This worked well virtually, but I know for the citizen advisory, it'd be easier to be there in person if we can. So
if you can, but online is also acceptable. So thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Have a good day, everyone.
Yes, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Ann, for updating him on that. All righty, item number 3, member updates. Do anybody have any updates? Hearing none. Okay. All right, if nobody has anything, we'll keep it short and sweet. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mark, so made.
This
You
is
have a
Annie. I'll
second?
second.
Wait, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you all for attending.